Oh, hello. My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure. Oh, hello. Miracles, I presume? Rhea is the youngest daughter of the good house of Thurland. Those young knights are her old schoolmates, but I'm not sure what to make of them. I'm afraid they may be a bad influence. Rhea is the youngest, but I'm afraid... Come again. The effectiveness of the teacher.
What have we here? You look awfully raggedy. Times are grim. The least you can do is look sharp. Don't you dare meet my lady like that. You might scare her off for good.
You are undead as well? Then we've no time to fraternize. I have my mission and you no doubt have yours. We must not let this curse overcome us. Did I not explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you, I should think not. Did I not explain the urgent...
Did you see her? That virtuous little maiden, complete with followers in tow? They're probably going straight to pillage graves. I've heard enough about Milady for a lifetime. How did that nutty sorcerer make it back? Unexpected, but I suppose stranger things have happened. How did that old man make it back? Unexpected, but I suppose stranger things have happened. You again? There's nothing to speak about, really. Oh, actually, something strange did happen. That crow flew off with somebody in its clutches. I think it was a man curled up in a ball. Stranger things have happened, right? No, maybe not. What? I'm not up for
Well, where have you been? I'm glad to see you're safe. Have you heard of Trusty Patches? If ever a man has rubbed me up the wrong way, if he ever comes around again, I swear I'll have his hide. You again. What is it? Our futures are murky. Our...
Well, I see you made it out. Yeah, I made it out safely too. I have my pyromancy of the Great Swamp, so I can usually manage with a bit of care. Oh yeah, by the way, I can share my spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'll be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory. Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure that they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this. A flame from the Great Swamp. Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer. Why, let's get started right now. Pyromancy is the art of casting fire. Produce flame, then channel it, just as our ancestors did. A pyromancer must be in tune with nature herself. My home, the Great Swamp, is an abundant store of nature. You will understand one day. It only takes time. Pyromancy has a, well, rather primitive aspect to it. It meshes poorly with advanced culture, and pyromancers are considered rather unsavoury, which is fine, as I never got along with anybody anyway. So, for me, turning undead didn't change a thing. A pyromancer's flame is a part of his own body. The flame develops right along with his skill. When I gave you that flame, I gave you a part of myself. Please take good care of it. A pyromancer's flame...
Hello everybody, my name is Michael and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. This is Laurentius of the Great Swamp, and we just got our very first pyromancy flame. And the pyromancy flame is unique in that it is one of the only weapons in the game that does not have a weight. 0.0. This will not add anything to your weight score. I usually keep this in the right-hand place of the weapon slot to switch immediately to this, so I can still get the shield benefit and use it, but some people get fancy and use that in the left hand while a weapon in the right, whatever you want to do. Now that we have some pyromancy, we can get some fire spells here. Basic Combustion is a great spell. Fire Orb is a type of fireball right here. A Fire Orb is a bigger type of fireball, which is self-explanatory. Just heave a ball of fire at somebody. Flash Sweat is supposed to reduce fire damage, but it's kind of situational in its use. It's not great. Iron Flesh has a couple of amazing uses here and there, because it automatically makes you overburdened, I think, or fat roll. I think it's not even fat roll. I think it's overburdened, so you can't run or roll. But you get a tremendous boost in poise and defense. So it's useful in some places, but typically only with a couple of bosses here and there. We can upgrade the Pyromancy Flame right here. We can eventually upgrade it to plus 20, essentially, but he will only upgrade it to plus 15. We'll need to go to somebody else to get it higher than that. I usually like to keep a little bit of pyromancy around, even if you are not a real magic user. Just keep a little pyromancy around and mix things up a little bit. Combustion here is a pretty good spell. Let's see it. It's very fast. It's not really. It's hard to block. It's hard to move away from, and it's just right in your face like that. So it can be very, very useful. I've switched over to using the Reinforced Club. I've been farming a lot, so I got it up to a plus 10. And we're going to be going into the next area of the game. We're going back in this episode to where we started, back to the Undead Asylum. But it is now a regular level now, and has different enemies in it that we have to fight, including 2 Black Knights and a boss. But let's talk to this guy first.
Oh, hello. I regret meeting you under such compromising circumstances. At least we both made it back unscathed. Incidentally, would you care to learn any sorceries? You're clearly talented, and besides, I owe you. Of course, we will require some materials, but I'm happy to teach you some elementary spells. Are you interested? Splendid. Very well. I am pleased to have a chance to give something back. Well then, let's get started straight away.
This is where you get your early spells. You can get a few from the guy in the New Londo Ruins, but this is where you're going to get your main stuff. Heavy Soul Arrow, Great Soul Arrow. You don't really need that much of an investment of intelligence to use, just 14 for Great Soul Arrow. This also has fall control. There is no cat ring in this game, unlike in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2, and this is the only way to negate falling damage. And 15 intelligence is pretty high, but, well, yeah. It's not that bad. Let's see here. Oral Decoy is like an Alluring Skull spell. It's like this spell version of Alluring Skull. You can also buy a basic catalyst from him, but I think you find it next to him anyway. I don't know why you'd want to buy it here. More importantly, he has this ring here. Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring. Boosts sorcery. Even though it says sorcery, it will also work on boosting the damage of pyromancies. So this can be very useful for certain things, although it's very expensive at 20,000 souls. This lingering Dragon Crest ring, I'm not that familiar with sorceries in that part of the game, so I don't know if this has any use. I hardly ever buy it. I'm not sure if it has much of a use anyway. Now, at the beginning of this, you notice that we talked over here to... Where are you, Fatso? This douche nugget's friends finally showed up, and what they were doing is that in the church, if you turn undead, that means that you are given a special quest to go into the heart of the catacombs in the land of the undead, where Nido, the god of the dead, lives, to recover secret magic and miracles that the church left down in there in the catacombs. And that's what she was on about. All four of them went back in there, and only this guy came out. The other ones are still back in there. And let's see what he has to say about this.
Oh, you again? Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life. Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so. Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it? Sometimes I lose myself. Pay me no mind.
Now, at the very beginning of the game, I entered a covenant with him, and I didn't talk about that. That was unfortunate. I had so much to talk about. But a covenant in the Souls games is sort of like a contract that you enter into to join a group that espouses a certain way of thinking and can give you certain things. Now, it's very situational and depends on the covenant what that means. For instance, joining the Way of White really doesn't mean anything. The word Gwyn, by the way, the king of the gods, Gwyn, Guinevere, Gwynno from Ultima, Gwyn means white. That's what it means. It's a Welsh word that means white. So the Way of White is really the way of Lord Gwyn. And these people belong to the church, which is presumably the church of Lord Gwyn, the king of the gods. And if any of the members of the church turn undead, that's sort of a very strange, and to them must be an almost proof that their god doesn't care about them. Why the hell would he allow me to turn undead? That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So I don't quite know how they rationalize it, because their god is allowing them to turn undead, or maybe their god doesn't have any power over that. But they went down into the catacombs, and this fuckwit sort of betrayed them and ran away. I don't know if he did anything that led to them being hurt down there, or if he just buggered off when they got in trouble, but that's the case. I also wanted to point out that the cleric armor here looks very much like scale armor a little bit at the front, and in Demon Souls, the armor that you get in the cleric area, or the divine area, where there's a lot of lore about that, in the Valley of Defilement, the Murden armor is also scale armor. Anyway, what those guys are doing down there, we're eventually going to have to go rescue them by going into the catacombs, which is probably going to be the next episode or the one after that. I decided not to go into the depths again in this episode. I wanted to just continue on here. So we're going to go back to the Undead Asylum, and you may have noticed, I think it was a couple of episodes, it was a while ago, that the crestfallen warrior over here told us that he saw the crow guy up there, our bird friend that brought us from the Undead Asylum, carrying someone in her claws, maybe towards the Undead Asylum. However, it's phrased in a way that I confused it when I was first playing with, he saw the crow bringing us here. But really what it said was that the crow had brought someone back to the asylum, so that's the clue in order to do that. Now, in order to go to the Undead Asylum, we need to get to the Undead Parish, unlock this elevator, and this is sort of a secret area, so it's not as obvious how to get there. You have to put a number of things together and just walk off right here. And if you go over here, you go to this little ledge here, and there's a little place there where you can maybe... Yes? No? Fuck. As I was saying, where we can roll onto the edge here and climb up. That usually... That is so annoying doing that roll or trying to jump across it. I originally thought you had to leap across it, and that was about 10 times harder, but really you can just sort of roll across it and get on there. You notice an item there that we need for the Undead Asylum. Undead Asylum, floor 2 west key. Apparently this guy had it in the asylum, just brought it here and died, I guess, or maybe the crow just threw him on here accidentally, just dropped him there. Now we can climb right back up to the nest here, and if we go to the nest, it actually gives us a little prompt, curl up like a ball. And I think it's trying to bait you to move, because it makes you wait several seconds here, and of just, you know, sitting there doing nothing. And if you wait long enough, then the crow will eventually cut to a scene, and we can take us back to the Undead Asylum. You only need to wait this long the first time. The other times you can just go back. Come on, there we go. Okay. Now we're heading back to the Undead Asylum. And it has changed. You'll notice there are torch hollows standing right here, and 4 of them. These are, I will repeat, are some of the most dangerous enemies in the frickin' game. They are so fast, they are so tough, and, you know, you can barely get an attack in edgewise as you're, you know, they're coming at you. They essentially just need to touch you in order to hurt you, which is something that I've hated since the NES days. I hate enemies that just, you know, have to connect with you in order to hurt you. Fortunately, we can knock them back a little bit and get them to, because of our big shield here. Oh, fuck. If you can hit these guys in just one blast with the arrow, it makes it much easier. Now let's move over here. If you're familiar with Dark Souls 2 or Demon Souls, you will remember a bird-like character. It's a different name in each of the series that you can trade goods with. These 2 eggs are exactly like a smaller version of the big bird's nest from over there in Firelink Shrine. And if we go over here and go into our inventory and drop certain items, like for instance, this moss clump here, just take this, go to drop just 1, and we move away, then we will quit and reload the game. And when we come back, there will be a new item, much more valuable one, in place there. Now this is on the wiki, and just take a look at the wiki if you want to know all the items that you can trade. You can trade basic items that are warm and soft. In Dark Souls 2 it was smooth and silky, and in Demon Souls it was shiny? What was it? Sparkly, sparkly, twinkly, I forget now, but in Dark Souls, in Demon Souls it was something. Give sparkly me, give twinkly me, is that what she said? Well, anyway, it's some bizarre little section of the game. I don't know if this has some sort of analog to something from previously on.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
In some other RPG game, I don't know, but we actually got a piece of twinkling titanite, which is very, very valuable. You can trade in all of the moss clumps, by the way. Go look here. Moss clump. I don't think it says that it's warm, but I mean, I guess it is soft, so that's what it was saying. So let us head back over to here at the bonfire there, and we'll take care of a Black Knight. There are 2 Black Knights here, and there are also 2 hollows in this room now, by the way. And let us just go here, and we're going to try to beat them. I think I can beat them. I hope I can. There's not really a huge point to beating this first one, although you do get a piece of red titanite chunk. And red Titanite is what you use to upgrade fire weapons, but we haven't gotten into that because that's in the catacombs. Oh, is he using? Yeah, he's using. Darn it! That was a partial parry. There we go. Oh my goodness, no. Oh well, wait, I forgot. I forgot it does that. It does this weird little thing where it's like, I don't know why it does that initial little damage, where it does that little, like, what does it do? That like 16, but then it does the real one? I don't get that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yes! Took him down pretty easily, because I do have a +10 weapon. And red Titanite chunk. We also got their sword, which I guess I will show you now. I would not have been able to... I mean, this is my weapon during the first section of the game, when I was playing it the first time. It's not a bad weapon. I can't really show you the moveset because I don't have the strength, but it's kind of heavy and slow, and it doesn't really have decent scaling. It's not that great. There is my Pyromancy Flame. Upgrading the Pyromancy Flame all the way cost a hell of a lot of money. So if you're going to do it, you have to save up a lot of money. But, at least get it up to +10. And if you'll notice, can you see him? I think you can see him from here. Our friend who started all of this, the start of the game by breaking us out of our cell, giving us the Estus Flask and the key, and telling us about the bells, has gone completely hollow. He is now insane, and he will attack us if we get too close. So we're going to have to try to kill him. But I want to fight him down here by the bonfire. Fighting him up here is a bit too close, I think. There we go. He's actually pretty tough. He has a long sword, and coming here to kill him is highly recommended because really he has an amazing shield called the Crest Shield. And the Crest Shield, the one he has there, is very good for defending against magic. I think it has like a 90%. Am I right about that? A 90% resistance to magic, maybe? He also is fat rolling, so that puts him at a serious disadvantage to us. Come on. Get a little chancy there at the end because I was kind of riding it pretty close. My health is still pretty low. And now we have the good old-fashioned Crest Shield. And this is just a great shield. 80% magic damage. But this is very, very, very useful in certain parts of the game where you're fighting heavily sorcery-based enemies. Now we are just going to pop up and get the real reason that we came to this area, which is a very special ring for when we go down into the swamp of Blighttown. Let's head up here. And I forgot about that. Fuck. God damn it. Well, I guess that might be pretty funny on the video, so I'll keep it in there. I forgot that he pulls the ball back up there. But anyway, it's not important. Come on. Come on, you son of a bee. There we go. And when we go down to the swamp of Blighttown, we haven't been there yet, but the ground is made up of thick, sucking mud and just nastiness. So when we go in there, we are going to have our movement speed reduced, and we are not going to be able to move very quickly at all. And in order to mitigate that, we can get the rusted iron ring right through here. And we need to get the key that I showed you at the beginning of this at the top of that place in Firelink Shrine in order to open that door. You can't go through that door when you go here initially. And now we have the rusted iron ring and the good old-fashioned sucking, pussy mud of Blighttown is no longer going to be a problem. Now let's go see if we can take care of one more Black Knight. And then I may try my hand at the boss of this area. He is very, very difficult, this boss, by the way. So I can't really guarantee very much when we go up against him. But we will make an attempt at the very least. There is also an item down here that we get that is another secret item Apparently in our cell, there is a very bizarre, unique, and frankly inexplicable item there that will allow us access to a secret level later on in the game. You don't need to come back and get it now, but I would highly recommend coming back to this area of the game in order to grab the rusted iron ring, because it makes Blighttown much, much easier. Oh, 143, not too shabby. Ooh, I lucked out there. Without the boulder shield, I would not be able to, Ooh, he spun around very quickly, didn't they? He will also run after us if we try to flask like this, so that's not necessarily the best idea. Getting a backstab on these guys is a little difficult. Okay. There we go. That slower swing one is the one I got him on twice last time. Got him. Ooh, and I got another shield. And the red Titanite chunk for fire weapons. Let's take a look at this item. Alrighty. Go to keys, amazingly. Peculiar doll, a strange doll with strange dress. There once was an abomination who had no place in this world. She clutched this doll tightly and eventually was drawn into a cold and lonely painted world. Huh. That is very, very strange. There is no explanation for what the heck this is doing in this level. Why is it there? Nobody knows. How it got there? I have no idea. The theories are very vague on this, and even the people that theorize like crazy online, they just don't know. I mean, what can I tell you? And I think we've just about wrapped up this level. And I'm probably just going to head back now to Firelink Shrine and maybe continue on the next level with the catacombs. I was going to try the boss of this area, but he is very, very difficult. And I don't really want to lose that humanity I have, so I think I'm going to end the episode here and maybe continue on with the catacombs in the next episode. Until then, goodbye, and don't go hollow.